Welcome to Engaging with Engage AFX Overview. This video will cover some of the basic functionality of our AFX system and is designed for professional game designers and programmers. To access our AFX system, you need to download our bundles, which are available by contacting our team via our website. Okay, let's begin the overview.
Another example of interaction which can be found within the Engage platform is the more recently released AFX system. What the AFX system is a node-based programming system which allows for us to, since external scripts are not allowed inside of Engage, use a lot of Unity's standard functions to basically perform the same functionality as adding scripts to Engage. So what we have an example of here is, we have an example of an object which can be grabbed by the player with a grab object script attached to it. This is a standard Engage script, so when grabbed in desktop mode or in VR, you are able to move this sphere around. And what we have here as well is we have a graph, which what will happen is that if this sphere is grabbed by a player and moved into either one of these cubes, it'll change the color of the sphere to match that. So if I click Edit Graph, you can see that we have an example here where we have a reference to a collider, in which case you can see here we have a list of references for that. So that collider is referenced here in the hierarchy. And we have a lot of the standard functions which are found inside of Unity. So in this case, onTriggerStay. Based on that, it will check if it is null. And if it is not null, using the info from the collider, it'll get the game object, it'll get the name of that game object, it'll cross-reference that with a game object name. So in this case, this string example right here, so AFX test hitbox, and after doing so, if it is that name, if true, it'll set the material to green, if false, it'll set the material to purple, and that material in question is the one on this game object renderer right here. So when picked up, I can actually test this inside of the editor as well. If moved within either of the colliders, you can see that the color will change. And this is able to be grabbed inside of Engage using the grab system, just based on mouse aim or on controller touch. The AFX system is rather in-depth, and the scope of it is probably too large for this training session, but if you wish to have some training in AFX, you can send us an email, as well as check the documentation, as this should be documented for Engage. With that covered, the last things we have in this scene are just the teleport ground and the location boundary. Teleport ground is just the floor geometry of the scene, but the user is able to teleport on top of that with the teleport function. What actually determines the teleport function being available for use is this tag right here, just called teleport ground. If you are to aim at any collider which does not have that, the teleport will stay red, meaning that you're not able to teleport on top of it. But with this tag added to it, you should be able to aim at it and teleport inside of the area that you have aimed at. Lastly, we have an example here of this location boundary. What we have is this will stop the user from being able to walk outside of the location and fall outside into the skybox. Reason we have this is because if a player were to fall into the skybox, they would find themselves unable to get back to the spawn location, and they would have to rejoin the session to get back in. So what this boundary does is that it acts as a physical barrier to stop the user from walking outside, but also, if the user is outside of this area, they'll be teleported back to the spawn point, so that they're not just left falling in the skybox. What this is intended to be used as is, it can be scaled, and with that, it will allow you to basically have a bounding box around your location. Since most locations wouldn't just be a rectangular plane like this, what you would want to do is you'd still want to block off the edges of your location with, say, invisible colliders, but this should encompass the entire play space so that if a user is outside of that, rather than just falling out into the skybox, they'll be teleported back to the play space and be able to continue as you'd expect. So it is a handy catch-all for anyone that happens to get outside of the location.
We hope you enjoyed our AFX overview. Remember to visit our website for extensive documentation and additional tutorials.